Have you ever been playing the Elite Bloonarius and wondering how is it even possible to beat with these massive ceramic rushes and massive health? Well, if that's the case, today I am going to be showing you how to beat it with an in-depth guide on all of the strategies and things that you need to do to beat the Bloonarius. So first, when it comes to heroes, like all heroes, your biggest choice is either Ben or Geraldo, because both of them make lots of money. I would always recommend Ben over Geraldo, and I'm going to be showing you how to use him. But if those two heroes are banned, which they often are, like in this week, the best option after that will either be Adora or Sada, because Adora will buff a temple if you're going to get a temple, which is better on Bloonarius than the other ones. Or you could pick Sada, because Sada will make the early game rounds a lot easier, allowing you to get a bit of a better farm kickstart. So, because both Geraldo and Ben will help you make a lot more money, they're obviously much better, so you're always going to want to pick one of these two heroes if they are available. So you can use Geraldo for the NFT or Ben just to make money. Now, when it comes to monkey knowledge, it's important to have all of the big ones. This is the increased starting cash right here, free dart monkey, and then for military, this one isn't as important as it usually is, but it's always nice to have it, military conscription. And then for magic, VTSG is sometimes useful if you're going to be building the VTSG. Then for support, a lot of these farm ones are really good because they buff the farms. And then for heroes, you want to get as many heroes points as you possibly can get. It's really good to help out get levels on your heroes. And then for powers, these ones aren't really needed, but if you're going to be using farmers, having the farmer one is nice. So the first thing about the boss is farming, and farming is huge. You need to be on your game with farming or else it won't work. The second part is your regular defense in between the boss. And the third part is your boss defense, which will kill the boss. Now, if you don't have all of these three things, the farming, the regular defense, and the boss defense, in check, you will lose. And you don't want to lose, so you want to make sure you know how to do each one of these, and this is how you do it. So the first example will be on a regular medium game, because, well, I don't have the Bloonarius available with Ben right now. So I'm going to be showing a standard method, this one with monkey knowledge. I'll make another one without monkey knowledge, and this will be for non-ranked. So I'm just going to show you how to beat it. So with this instead, you want to put your free dart monkey, not buy any other defense, and then get Ben as soon as possible. You can use the biohack ability, but you have to be really careful with this, because if you use it at a bad time, it can actually remove some damage. So I'm going to place down a farmer just to make my life a little bit easier. It's definitely not mandatory. You can manually pick up the bananas if you want. But after that, I'm going to get a druid just to get enough defense up. And I'm going to stick with just this druid and a dart monkey for a while, because one big thing about the regular defense is that you have to be very stingy on it. If you spend too much money on your regular defense, you will not have enough money to build farms, and when you do not have enough farms, you will not have enough money for your boss defense. And as you can see right there, I'm stupid and put the farmer in a really bad spot, so I rebuy one. And I think I do that again, because like I can't do that. But also something that you're noticing is that I'm fine with leaking lives. And leaking lives is fine because, well, you're not going to die unless you're on your last life and you leak that life. So to greed a bit more, you can leak some lives, and as you can see, the 0-0 dart and 0-0 druid are going all the way to 18, and I'm still buying farms. I'm using the biohack at times where it's kind of the end of the round, and the downtime will not affect my towers because, well, everything's out of range. So you get the +1 damage to kill the last bit of the wave. And now I'm going for a sniper just to help out a little bit, and then I'll get the 030 druid on about round 21, and that will keep us good. In the meantime, when it comes to farms, also tank this camo. Just do it. You don't have to buy camo detection. But on the farms, I'm getting 6,200 farms, and then I'm going to upgrade each one into marketplace. And as you can notice, I'm doing this all around a pool of water. If there is no pool of water, that's fine. You will have to just do it without that. But if you're not, if there is no pool of water, you might want to get a 7th or possibly 8th farm because you won't be getting the boat. Now, looking back on the defense, the 030 Druid is doing a lot of work. It will beat everything up. For 33, we're going to need a bit of camo, so I always like to do the crossbow, and that will keep us fine for, I believe, the rest of 40. So with a cheap defense, we have enough money to put into farms to get our boss defense. So I get all marketplaces up, and I get a boat around it. 004, which is a common tower you will see in the boss events. And what this does is that it increases the sell value for all the towers in its range. So all of these farms that I built will have an increased sell value, and I can sell them for more money. Now, on top of that, marketplaces already have a very high sellback return, so we're going to be making a lot of money coming back from these marketplaces. So I'm going to sell them. I got like $40,000 without the boat being sold, so I get my boss defense, which for tier 1, you can do a tax zone, a alchemist, and a overdrive. And for the King Bloons, we can get 2 recursive clusters at the end. This usually will take about 2 or 3 rounds to kill. And for the tax shooter, always place it in the optimal tax zone placement, which for this map is actually right there. And that will beat the map. For the optimal tax zone placement, you put it under the track. Because there is no Bloonarius, obviously nothing really happened, but I waited the amount of time that it usually would take to kill it, and I got my regular defense back. For this one, I'm doing a Necromancer, a 203 bomb, and 2030 bombs, which is pretty cheap defense that will work for a while. Sadly, the Necromancer is kind of in a really bad spot, and I did not really fix that, but on other maps, this will be fixed. So now, for the farming, I'm going into 2 420 farms, and then I'm going to get this around a Monkeyopolis, and I'm going to build the Monkeyopolis, so it's a Monkeyopolis with 2 farms. If you did this right, you will get it at around 50, and right here on round 50, we got it. So now, this will make quite a lot of money. The Monkeyopolis is really one great tower. And now, for the last rounds or so, I'm going to be getting some 024 farms around the pool area again. And then we're going to be putting a boat right there to get the increased sell value, so that when the boss comes again, about a round or 2 before, we can stop buying farms, and then we can sell those immediately for more boss defense. So the next boss is coming up shortly on round 60 here, and our farming is pretty good, so we should have enough money to take out this boss. So for the tier 2 boss, I often recommend using a Mad and a Glaive Lord to clean up. Mad for the Moab damage, and this works pretty well, but they like to ban the Mad a lot of times. So if they do this, another great option is Avatar of Wrath. That will usually work out really well. So this will take a little bit longer to kill. Usually goes up to 63 or 64. But if you do this right, you should be able to keep your Monkeyopolis, and that will make your money go really far. The goal is to get a Paragon for tier 3. So to help the pops out a little bit, I usually like to just get a Crossbow Master for your mid-game and Alk buff it, or else it will die in 78 or 75, which is really funny. Now, going back to farms, I want to replace this old small 2-farm obelisk with a really big obelisk. So I'm going to get an overclock to overclock the range of our new village that will become the new obelisk. And with the overclocked range, it's going to get a lot more range, and we can fit as many farms as possible around it. So we're going to then upgrade all these farms to 240. So they're BRFs, and we can get the most out of this obelisk. Now, it's going to take a while, but you should be able to get this done before you need to start saving up for the Paragon. So let's just get going on it, and then when we need to build it, we can just sell the old one, and we can upgrade our new one. And this will make lots and lots and lots of money. Now that I got the new Monkeyopolis, I have to make sure to get another 004 farm right next to it to buff it up with the Monkey Town buff, so it makes even more money. And you can see this crossbow master is almost dying to around 75 there. But then I get a Banana Central, and then I get a few more factories right about where 78 is, and then I'll start saving up. And about now is a good time to get a second crossbow master, just so that you don't die. But I don't think I have mentioned this, but if you're about to die, you can just go home and reload the round. It's going to save tons of time. Just do it. All right, so now we're coming up on 80. We're going to get the 2 crossbow masters, because you will have that monkey knowledge if you have the free dart. And then this will, by the way, help the degree immensely. And then I'm going to get a dart paragon, no, not the dart, the ultra juggernaut, the plasma monkey fan club, and then we can sell the stuff besides the Monkeyopolis, and you should just have enough money to get it. If not, you can wait a few rounds and then you will get it. But this is usually one of the biggest issues. People can't seem to afford the dart paragon by round 80, but if you do the farming that I did, you will get it just fine, and this will make it much easier. If you're really tight on money, you could sell the Paragon to get a cheaper defense and put more money into farms, but in the state that I am, I'm just fine, and I'm going to keep farming. Now, with the amount of farms and money I have right now, I basically have a win secured. You can farm more, or get a VTSG, or get more Paragons, and that will beat the game for you. So now this is an example without monkey knowledge and without Ben. So this is going to be a severely handicapped run. But this will basically show you a more cheaper but more difficult strategy that you can do to beat the elite Bloonarius. So I'm going to be starting off with Sada, and Sada is going to basically carry the early game for us. And because I don't have monkey knowledge, we're going to be getting our farms late, so we have to be super stingy and farm really well. So I'm doing the previous farming method as seen in the last clip, although it's delayed. But as you notice right here, I am doing the back out and going back in. You should do this just because it saves so much time, and you can strategize and work things out a bit better. But on 36 here, I'm going to be getting the 03 Druid because Sada, we can get it much later, but that still does not justify our massive farm difference compared to the other run. So I'm going to keep farming, do my best, and I'm going to do a really, really cheap and annoying tier 1 defense. So first thing I do, I'm going to wait a little bit to get the 040 boat so we can get the increased sell value. So I'm getting right there. I'm going to sell all of that. I'm going to get a sticky bomb on strong where it gets good coverage, and then I'm going to get a recursive cluster and an alch buff right there, and then I'll get a second recursive cluster too. This will vary over time, slowly beat the tier 1, and in the meantime, I'm going to start setting up my farms for the 2-farm Opolis. So we are going for that right now. I'm going to do the 2-farm Opolis. Like again, it will be delayed, and like again, the tier 4 defense will be a little bit delayed. Not the tier 4 defense, the tier 2 defense will be a little bit delayed. But unlike this time, well, unlike last time, I don't have access to the MAD, so I'm going to have to do a bit of a different tier 2 defense too. So I'll come back when that's ready. Alright, so I got a lot of these farms to sell, and let's see what we can do. So we got about $90,000 here. So because there's no MAD, very unfortunate, I'm going to be doing the Avatar of Wrath. So I had a little issues placing these, but I eventually got it. And so what I'm doing is I'm just getting the drums on the village, Alec Buff and Avatar of Wrath, put it on strong, and then get all of these other guys to pop lust. And then at the back here, because I don't have enough money for a Glaive Lord, I'm going to be getting a lot of recursive clusters. Just 3 should work fine. The Avatar of Wrath will do a bit of damage to the BFBs, so these 3 recursive clusters should clean up the Moabs and all the ceramics underneath. Now this will beat it a bit faster, which is nice, but it's a lot more expensive than a MAD, so if you have access to that, definitely run it instead. And now after that, we're going to have to sell again, and we're going to get the Crossbow Master and start farming. Much like in the other example, the farming is going to be the same, but there's one little trick that I use just to get a bit more money. I still have my overclock well, I got that first to overclock the village range, but a cool little trick that I'm doing is that I'm overclocking a 000 farm and then upgrading it, because something cool about that is that when you overclock a 000 tower, it has 300% uptime. But when you upgrade it, that uptime stays. So that overclock buff is going to stay in the farm for 3 times its cooldown. So you can have overclock on like 3 farms going at once, and it's pretty efficient because you'll get way more money from that. So I'm just overclocking the farms while I'm waiting to get the upgraded village. And now that I've got all the farms in range, I'm going to sell the other village, and then I can buy the bigger village, and that will be good. Now, our farming is way behind from the other example, so getting the Paragon on this next run will be a lot more difficult, and I'm going to be showing you how to do it. So as you can see, I'm nowhere close to getting the Paragon. So what I'm doing is I'm placing one of the tier 5 dart monkeys way back in the track, and I'm going to be letting this guy go through. I have my XXL trap to clear the rounds earlier so we get more money, and ideally by the time it makes it to that back bend right there, we can get the Paragon and we'll have enough space to kill it. Also, something to note, so we got the Paragon right now, when it will just be in range. But also something to note, we don't have the extra crossbow master, so this is a degree 1 Paragon. Very, very sad. So it's not going to be very good. If you had a degree 20 or degree 30, if you use glitch, it will kill it much faster. So because of that, I'm going to get a perma-spike alch buff to that, just in case, because some DDTs might get past the degree 1 Paragon. And now after that, I'm going to go back into farming, and I'm going to sell this Paragon because I want to definitely get a higher than degree 1 Paragon, and I kind of need more money for farming. So after the boss is dead, the Paragon goes, we get back the crossbow masters, we also get the tier 5 boomerangs, because I want to build those Paragons too. So I'm putting money back into farms. I'm getting some, if you have more effort, you can build more factories, but I'm getting the boat crew, and then I'm also getting 10 central markets to buff them all. But this will really help out the money, and if you want to maximize your money, you just fill the rest of the place with banana research facilities, but I'm lazy and I'm not going to pick up the bananas, so I'm not going to do that. But we got our tier 5 boomerangs, our tier 5 dart monkeys getting pops up to help the Paragon, and we're going to be getting some Paragons next tier, and then for the final tier, we'll just have all the Paragons, or a Paragon and a buffed VTSG, and that will destroy the Bloonarius. So I will come back at the end when such happens. Alright, well, besides the just the Paragons, I got some debuff towers, which help a lot, so you should get those too. But these 4 Paragons, or a Paragon and a buffed VTSG, will destroy the Bloonarius fine, and that is how you beat the Bloonarius Elite mode, with no monkey knowledge, and no Ben. So that's that, and goodbye.